Far beyond the Wise Owl Forest lies a village of both tranquility and ferocity. Here lies a village of great warriors, famous for their hunting skills. Here lies the great Matataki Village, home to the greatest hunter in the Wise Owl Forest. This is his story. One summer evening, the great hunter Fudoh was embarking on his most challenging hunt ever. He was known as one of the greatest hunters of Matataki Village, but this day would cement his legend for years to come as he entered the Wise Owl Forest to face the dreaded killer snake. After hours of walking, Fudoh nears his intended destination.
The killer snake is said to be a fierce beast. I hope the stories are true.
Fudoh then flashes back to a conversation he had with the village mayor, the ancient Baron Kabu. Why would you volunteer to face this beast? Are you that determined to leave your son without a father?
And what would I be teaching him if I didn't step up when no one else would? The dreaded serpent will advance to Matataki eventually, and besides, we cannot allow this beast to disturb the ecosystem of Pokemon within the forest. We will be left without food until we become the food for the serpent.
Well, I won't let you go unprepared. As you know, I am descended from Matataki's founder, and am so inclined to certain secrets, one of which being the location to a special sword that once belonged to the first hunter of Matataki Village. Back in the forest, Fudoh continues walking into the depths of it until he reaches a clearing. It's said that the first hunter faced the killer snake's ancestor, almost as if it was fate in play. As Fudoh exits the clearing, he gazes upon a blade stabbed into the ground. As a precaution of the serpent's return, he left the very blade he forged from the fang of the first serpent after their first bout, to kill any more of its kin that would dare return. From there, it's up to you.
So the legend was true. The serpent's sword sleeps within this grove.
With resolve, Fudoh picks up the blade, ready to face the greatest hunt he's ever partaken in. Moments later, Fudoh appears in what is rumored to be the den of the killer snake. Fudoh looks around, nothing but sound silence and calming wind.
At first hand, it sounds so peaceful.
Fudoh continues to scan the grove. Fudoh then closes his eyes.
But I can feel its presence, its murderous intent, and its thriving hunger for blood.
In an instant, Fudoh opens his eyes, immediately dodging as the killer snake swiftly attempted to strike, only to fail in the end. After landing on the ground, Fudoh looks on in awe and fear at the killer snake, realizing that he may as well be staring death in its face.
This is the killer snake. It's bigger than I imagined.
Fudoh then clenches his teeth and grasps the hilt of the serpent's sword firmly.
Even so, I must not give up!
As Fudoh charges forward, the serpent's sword in hand, he clashes with the beast multiple times, noticing that every time he tries to strike with his sword, he keeps colliding with the fangs of the killer snake. After the recent clash, Fudoh steps back, taking into account what he's noticing.
The serpent's strikes aren't just random. He's deliberately striking at my sword. Its blood must recognize its own kin, even if it is molded in a different form. In turn, it must have changed its original battle strategy. No wonder the first hunter struggled and died. It's an intelligent beast.
Fudoh then looks down and notices the serpent's tail wrapping around his leg, followed by the snake throwing him across the grove. Fudoh would be thrown into a nearby tree, damaging his body in the process. Fudoh then gets up, fighting through the pain of the bruises on his back. Fudoh then spits to the side.
Do you think that's enough to end my life? I am the great hunter Fudoh! Fudoh charges forward, clashing again with the killer snake's fang, only to then be sucker punched from the side by the snake's tail. With every single clash, the serpent makes a calculative move with its tail. Even when Fudoh attempts to strike at its tail, he leaves himself open for the killer snake's venomous fangs. With luck, Fudoh is able to dodge the bite, but his body is beginning to weaken from the damage done to it. Just then, Fudoh falls to his knee, a result of coughing up blood due to internal damage as the killer snake towers above him. Fudoh then looks up at the serpent, his mind running along in thought. The beast is strong. I may even die in this fight. I'd be leaving my son alone. Still, within Fudoh's mind, a flash of memory is shown. One of his young son Goro looking at Fudoh with a smile on his face.
I just know I'm gonna be a hunter like you one day, Father. The best in the village, just like you.
Back in the present, Fudoh then opens his eyes, with great resolve behind them.
I must not falter!
Fudoh then charges at the serpent. He pulls together all of his physical strength for one final swing of his sword.
For Matataki! For Goro!
With one final clash, the force behind Fudoh's serpent's sword inevitably severs the left fang of the killer snake from its maw. As the killer snake hisses in agony, Fudoh falls, his back hitting the ground and the serpent's sword separating from his grasp. Just then, the snake's severed fang lands next to Fudoh's head, stabbing into the ground and only inches away from Fudoh's face. Fudoh looks to his left, astonished by his achievement.
I've actually done what only the first hunter accomplished.
The killer snake hisses, looking down at Fudoh with seething rage. Fudoh looks up, slightly worried, but content.
But it appears that I failed to slay the beast.
In the reflection of Fudoh's eye, the killer snake opens its maw, getting ready for its killing strike. In that instant, Fudoh thought nothing more than about his son, Goro, as well as what appears to be his mother holding him in her arms. Back in the present, Fudoh closes his eyes, a tear falling out of his left eye.
Forgive me, my son.
With everything it has, the killer snake charges downward for the killing blow.
Kaya, I'll be with you soon.
As Fudoh opens his eyes, he witnesses a shocking sight. Fudoh would witness the decapitation of the killer snake. With a gigantic thud, the severed pieces of the killer snake fall to the ground, Fudoh lying in between the two pieces. As Fudoh looks up, he sees the silhouette of a giant man in a hat, wielding a giant bladed polearm. In the end, Fudoh would fall unconscious.
The tragedy of Fudoh.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to check out our merch store, buy me a coffee page, and Amazon affiliate link linked in the description and pinned comment below, so you can help us expand the channel and give you guys higher quality content. Also, if you want to check out our original content, be sure to check out the playlists linked in the description below. With all that said and done, I'm JT Anime, and I'll check you guys later.